Appreciate you being willing to get up. Let's open up with prayer. God, again, we thank you for just your faithfulness, Lord. We thank you for all that you are doing here at Brown. And God, thank you for all of our leaders, for their dedication to you, to ministry, their heart for serving. And I just pray now that you bless this time together. God, bless us to be able to learn, to listen, to have our eyes open, hearts receptive, and ultimately, God, that we enjoy just the time together, fellowship and engagement, and ultimately that you bless us even as we try to finish 2022 strong and even look for all you're going to do in 2023. And so, God, we thank you in advance for just the amazing things, the vision, the heart that you have placed upon each person as we look forward to serving you. We honor you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and thank God.
Good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing this morning? Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out so early in the morning. We have a quite interesting day with 2 funerals, so we needed to move it up than our normal 9 o'clock start time. So again, thank you guys so much for coming out at 8:30 on a Saturday morning, because I know you probably rather still be in bed. Again, we appreciate every single one of you for being here this morning. We appreciate everything that you do from leading your ministry. So I want to start out by allowing you to give yourselves a hand. So give yourselves a hand. Pastor Orr will be coming in shortly. He's running behind this morning, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we want to be respectful of everyone's time. This upcoming year, of course, we went to having events. Then the pandemic happened, right? And so then it went from having all these events to, oh my goodness, we got to shut down. We're only doing funerals. I think it was only Pastor Anderson and I helping to try to sit people for all these funerals. Like it was just different, right? Then, things started gradually opening back up. And, we got a lot of new leaders, and we were so excited. And so it was like, oh, my goodness, we got to adjust. We got to get back into the swing of things. And so what we wanted to do is a lot of people were new, and they didn't know what to do, how to do it. And so we was like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to have to regroup. So we came up with the idea to provide each leader a checklist so we could start planning for 2023, okay? Because one thing, of course, although most people may think Brown has a limit to funds, we know that's not true, right? Brown does not have unlimited funds. So everybody has a budget. So we're asking everybody to submit their budgets. Who can tell me when calendars are due? November 5th, okay, who else? The 10th? Look, I would take all those dates, I really will, but it's really November 15th. November 15th, you had the number. But November 15th is the date that all calendars, event planning forms are due, okay? So we want to make sure we do everything in decent and in order. Again, so we're gonna go to this, everybody have an agenda? And then David, do you have the event planning form up? Yes. Okay. So what you'll need to do is for those who need to submit an event, it's not only an event, guys, it's like your meetings. I think everybody here requests meetings, there's events, there's lunches, there's stuff off-site. There's annual days, there's so many things that, I know the mothers meet. I mean, it seems like I've spoken to most of you guys about hosting something at Brown. So what you need to do is go to members, and then you'll scroll down and go to ministry planning, and you'll click event planning, okay? So this is where you're going to start. And so I went ahead and created this checklist. If you guys could turn the page. So right here, starting at 9 to 12 months, for 9 to 12 months, there's a couple of things I want you guys to do, okay? So let's review them. One, I want you to meet with your team and pray over your event, okay? One thing that we have realized, we have to start a plan about what we do, how we do it, and why we're doing it. Because if we're just doing something just to be doing it, it won't make sense. It just won't, okay? So meet with your team, okay? Who's in here heard of Alive at 25? Okay, most of you have. Who could tell me the 4 teams of Alive at 25? And I got some gift cards. Miss Jackie got some gift cards. Okay, Miss Janet. Fellowship, discipleship, service, and new members. Okay, yes, all of that. Everybody heard her? So it's fellowship, new members, service, and discipleship. Okay? So each ministry, we have over 60 ministries here at Brown, right? Some of you may be a part of multiple ones. Each ministry should be set up with Alive at 25. Now I know the pandemic happened, and guess what happened? Our teams went with the pandemic, okay? So if you don't do anything else, remember, you can't do this by yourself. You can't. You will set yourself up for failure. All right, number one, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to get burnt out. It's going to be a whole bunch of things, right? So we want to make sure that you set up your teams with Alive at 25, okay? Each ministry needs to have 25 members, right? You can have more. And then with that, you need to make sure that you have somebody that's representing, that's a coordinator for your new members, a coordinator for your service team, a coordinator for your fellowship team, and a coordinator for your discipleship workshop team. Okay? Does that make sense? We're making sense? Okay. So you're going to get with that team, okay? And you're going to pray over the events. And let me tell you something else. Don't feel like you have to be at Brown 365 days of the year. You don't have to. It's enough of us to be here for you. So make sure as you discussing your team and what you want to plan for, you may say, hey, we're just going to decide to do one fellowship for the year, or a couple of fellowships for a year, a couple of discipleship workshops, or that may just mean going to Sunday school, or partnering with what we do on Wednesday night, and you guys going together as a team. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? Then you need to make sure you engage your new members, right? How many of you guys get a list from new members, from Catherine or ministry support or, okay, are you guys calling them? Okay, how often do you call them? As soon as you receive the list, when do you call them? Miss Janet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So when you get the list, do you call them within 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, a month later? Okay. Okay. So one thing is, what she said is a good point. As soon as you get the list, the new members list, call them. I know everybody's busy, but make sure you call them within 48 hours, okay? Because what we can say is, oh, we need help, we need help, we need help, we need help, we need help. And guess what you don't do? You wait a month, you waited 2 months. When Pastor Orr called and it was like, well, I signed up for the new members team and no one's contacted me. That's never happened for the new members team. I'm just using that as an example. But you make sure you call them within the 24, 48 hours, okay? So once you have all those people, again, you meet with them. You guys are meeting together. And so you guys decide, hey, this is what we want to do, okay? As you're discussing your events, make sure you know your target audience. Who can tell me what their target audience is? Miss Caroline. Amen. She's over the care ministry. She knows who her target audience is. It's the caregivers, and they make sure they take care of those who are nursing home and homebound. That's our target audience. Who else could tell me their target audience? Miss Monica. Okay, amen. That's next gen. They know their target audience, okay? So when you know your target audience and you understand the why and the purpose behind the event, you are setting yourself up for success. Because, for example, and hopefully this won't happen here at Brown, if I'm over the men's ministry, right? I'm over the men's ministry, and I say, hey, man, and I decide that, I want to plan an event for women. Does that make sense? No. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's just one example. I'm just saying, I mean, if they want to treat us for breakfast or something like that, we'll take it, and they wash our cars for Mother's Day weekend, we'll take that. But what I'm saying is just know your target audience. Make sure your event, as you're planning an event, make sure Brown has 3 D's here at Brown. Delegation. We do everything. We try to do everything ourselves. We don't want help. We don't recruit people. So make sure you're recruiting, so delegation. Discipleship, that's another deficiency that we have here at Brown. We have to grow people. It makes no sense for us to continue to have events if we're not growing, if we're not learning the Word of God. And then number 3, dollars. Of course, we can always take more money. Amen? Because in order for us to do these events, guess what it costs? It costs money, right? So those are the 3 things. So whenever you are planning your event, make sure you address those 3 Ds: delegation, discipleship, and dollars. Okay? Once you do all of that, then you're able to submit this form, the event planning form. So you're ready. You feel like you got a plan, a purpose. You're going to submit your event planning form. On the event planning form, Dave, you could go back to that form for me. If you could, so you put your ministry information, your contact information, email address, you could continue on. That's all the details. How many people you are expecting. Keep going. You could decide which location, if you want main campus or south campus. The number of tables. Keep going. Goals. This is where you tell your why. Keep going. If you need catering, creative services, transportation. What are your needs for creative services? And don't do us a favor. Do us a favor. Can y'all do us a favor? Don't select everything. David, how many requests have you received where people selected everything?
A lot.
Yes. And you may not necessarily need everything, right? So really think about it. Think through the process. Catering needs, creative service, keep going, keep going. Transportation, if you need transportation. Miscellaneous, do you need babysitting? Music ministry, hospitality. If you have a speaker, you could go ahead and complete this information here. And then the important part, you can start right there, David, your proposed budget. Now, can somebody tell me what proposed means? What you expect. But does that mean that's what you're supposed to buy? Okay, right? We all have budgets, right? Yeah. My husband get really mad at me when my proposed become my actual, right? We don't want actual. We don't want you to go ahead and calling people, booking things. We just want a proposed budget. Okay? So basically what it is, you're going to call to get your budget. So you could call me for caterers, or I could send you a list of caterers. You could reach out to them and look there under the quotes for the caterers, right? Meetings less than 4 hours. We don't mind providing snacks and water. There are summer sessions. I know the women, they do their fellowship. This past weekend, Pivot, y'all did an amazing job. You guys did the soul sessions. So we understand certain things. There are summer sessions with that. But what we don't want to do is get in a habit of just your core team, y'all meeting, and it's just like 10 of you guys, and you're like, oh, I want to have food. We don't want to do that, okay? This is like true, save your funds for when you actually need it for an event, right? Again, for your meetings, we don't have a problem providing snacks. We got snacks everywhere at Brown. So we don't mind providing chips and water, right? But meetings less than 4 hours, we only gonna provide snacks and water, right? For things, oh, look at that sentence. We are fine with teens charging for the meals. Okay, the women's ministry, they did their brunch, right? This fellas in here, they did an amazing job with their brunch, okay? They charged $25. And let me tell you something. I can't go anywhere in Memphis for a $25 brunch that include music and everything that they did, a speaker and all that. I can't go anywhere. If anybody could tell me where you could go for $25 to get everything that they did, a nice setting, music, speaker, food, please let me know because I want to go. Can somebody tell me? You can't. And I'm a brunch person. I love brunch. So I know how much Owen Brennan costs. I've seen some of you guys there. So again, we're okay with charging like for certain events. Now, what we don't want to do is get in a habit for charging all the time. Right? Because we do rely on donors, and we're so grateful for our donors. So there are some things that we can do. But for certain special things like the women's brunch, it's okay to charge, okay? If you have conferences, activities, of course, like Contending for the Faith, we do provide breakfast and lunch because that's like a two to 3 day. 2023 would be a 3-day event. So, of course, we do provide meals like that. So, again, but if you put in your budget and you submit it by November 15th, guess what? We could plan for it. We could plan for it. We are anticipating this is what it's going to cost, okay? Get quotes from Creative Services. Call David, Charlene. Hey, I want an LED wall. Hey, I want this. They will be able to provide you with a quote. David is actually working on coming up with just something like a template where just for basic stuff, like step and repeats, tablecloths, that sort of thing, so you'll know how much things cost. That way it's already in your budget, okay? Music quotes, Bates and Anthony Kirkendall. If you want an artist, or if you just want even a member, we have so many amazing singers here at Brown. If you want one of them just to come and support your event, you could contact them for a quote. Speaker requests, Miss Jackie, she's a person to get speakers. You could, of course, we approve speakers. We want to make sure they follow within Brown guidelines and all those good things. But, she would be able to get a quote. She worked with Pastor Anderson regarding speaker requests. And then, of course, once you do this and you submit your form, I get with Tracy, Pastor Orr, Pastor Anderson. We'll come up, hey, seems like a working plan. It seems like this could work. You will receive an approval, a note stating, hey, prime example, we started this, we test run next gen. Monica, is it okay if I use for example? Monica, they submitted a request for Blessings in Disguise, okay? They submitted the quote, got with Tracy, so we was like, they requested like a next gen tent. Is it okay if I share Monica? Okay. They requested a next gen tent, okay? Brown has 20 tents here at Brown. We have 20, right? And I was like, the tent was $750. I was like, Monica, do y'all really need that tent? She was like, no, not really. So, Monica was cool with it. So you see, and so they still have them Blessings in Disguise, and it's still going to be amazing, and we're still going to provide them with the tent. It may not just have the next gen on there, right? Now, if Monica don't want to go ahead and say, hey, for 2023, this is something that we really want to do, we're going to have more events, she could put it in the proposed budget, and we can look at it, okay? So that's the type of process we're trying to get in the habit now, right? Because most people, you worked at corporate, you worked at nonprofits, all of that. I know I did nonprofit, corporate, all of that. Guess what I have to do? I have to do a budget. It don't matter which organization that I've been a part of, we have to do a budget. And so Brown is operating as a business as ministry, right? We are a ministry, but we are a business as well. And God does everything in decent and in order, right? So, and we just want to do the same. So, once you guys complete your quotes, you do everything, you will receive an email stating this is approved, this is your amount. Have fun, not just play. We're going to say, now you've approved. We're going to meet with the office of the senior pastor and the ministry support team. We're going to bring in Ms. Jackie, creative services, music, whomever that you request, the hospitality, whomever you request it. Sit down with you guys, and we'll be able to say, okay, this is what you need, this is what you're seeking, and then that way you'll be able to get back with your teams and say, hey, we approve, let's work. Now it's up to your teams to go and execute. We are here to support. We are not here to do the work. We are here to support. We're here to guide you. We're not here to do the work. Pastor Orr said we are staff equipping, lay driven. We're staff. We're equipping you. And, and you guys are going to drive it, okay? Because it's something about when you are empowered to do your work, right? I mean, because this is your ministry to God. This is your ministry to God, okay? So you're going to meet with us, and we're going to make sure everything is good. And then you're going to meet with your team. You're going to begin execute. So that's within 9 to 12 months. So that's the reason why we're a little bit behind, especially if you already have something coming up in March or April or May. We're already behind, right? So that means we're going to have to play catch up, okay? So that's the reason why we're asking for those event planning forms to be due November 15th, okay? Then 6 to 9 months, you're going to submit your marketing branding form. Dave, you want to go to the marketing branding form? How many of you guys have already submitted the marketing branding form before? Anybody? Okay, some of you guys have, or some people may call it graphic request form. It's basically how you're going to get your collateral from creative services. So you start here, you complete all the information here, your name, your email address, phone number, the ministry, all of that stuff. Has this project been approved by a BMBC ministry leader? So basically, has it been approved by the office of the senior pastor? So that's basically going to say, if you say no, that means you need to go all the way back to the event planning form, okay? Because you should not be completing a graphic request form without completing an event planning form. And it has happened. I have been sitting in church, and I'm like, you know, what event is this? I don't know. You know, I sent Miss Jackie, Miss Sanita, hey, y'all know about this? So make sure you guys, you know, as excited as we are about doing events and all those good things, make sure you do the event planning form and then come here, okay? So you're going to submit your marketing branding consultation form, your meeting, then you're going to schedule a meeting email follow-up. Make sure you put all your copy, all of that stuff in there. You're going to then, once David them get the request, he's going to send it back to you guys. They have their timelines, their schedules. He's going to come and tell you all about that. And then you get 2 revisions. He'll submit it over to you. You guys get back with your team, submit the revisions back, and then he'll resubmit it back to you, and they're going to wait for you to sign off for approval, okay? Are there any questions regarding the event planning and the event marketing? Because I want to make sure everybody clear, everybody understand. Okay? And then again, we're going to be meeting. So after you submit your collateral, the approval form, you guys approve the formal collateral, and then again, by this time, we are already going to start a meeting anyway about what your expectations are and those good things. 3 to 6 months. Catherine here is over my Brown Baptist and Ms. Jackie. So you remember we were talking about target audience earlier? Guess what they could do? We have a database. So if you know who your target audience is, so if you say, hey, it's Pivot, we target people 25 to 40. Guess what you could do? You could call Catherine or Ms. Jackie. They could run you a report, and now you could do target marketing. It's not like, let me just put it up there in the sky and hope it just falls on the people's ears. Now you could do target marketing by contacting my Brown Baptist. We have a database that they could do pretty much anything we wanted to do. I don't know if it could do almost anything, but for the most part, it can at least pull your report so you know who you need to contact, okay? Yes?
So with that, you can target
Okay, excellent question. Excellent question. What I mean by that is each ministry should have a Brown Baptist email address, right? If they don't, they could go see Miss Jackie. She'll set them up with an email address, right? What I mean by that is they could contact Catherine. If it's the pivot 25 to 40, she will run the report, submit it to them, the email addresses. They could send it now from their Brown Baptist email address. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From my Brown Baptist. Yeah, yeah. And the thing about it is because we do have so many events, right? And I know marketing sometimes could be a challenge because a lot of times people, because, you know, they're just going in the order, right, of what events and all that stuff. But if it's like 5 events the same weekend, guess what's going to happen? Some going to get lost. Right? Something's going to get lost. It's going to happen. So with that being said, now we are empowering the leaders to be able to submit the communication to them. Okay? So, and I think it will work. The women's ministry before my Brown Baptist, it was the other one. What was the other one, Miss Jackie? RAM. Like, I got communication from them all the time. Because they had the database and all of that stuff. So Miss Jackie's going to cover that in her point. But now, we will still, don't get me wrong, we will still promote it from the church perspective, but now you could get your communication out earlier to your target audience. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. All righty. And then 3 to 6 months. So now versus just waiting 2 weeks prior to your event promoting it, guess what? You can promote it to them 3 to 6 months as long as you have the collateral. You go ahead, or you start to save the dates, however you want, however you decide to do it. And then, of course, again, you're going to be meeting with Creative Service to discuss and finalize the church promotion plan with Creative Services. Then 1 to 3 months, that's when we can start a promotion through the church, meet with the ministry support team, make sure everything is together, finalize with the music team if needed, request hospitality if needed, finalize with Creative Services team. Now these last 1 to 3 months, you're basically finalizing. You're just checking. You're checking. Finalize decor with you contact me. Finalize worship logistics with Miss Patrice. I know I saw her somewhere in here, but Miss Patrice, if you have an order of service. And then, of course, submit print request jobs, which will go through the ministry support office, Miss Jackie office, okay? Any questions regarding 3 to 6 months and 1 to 3 months? Okay? Then month of event. You finalize everything with the Office of the Senior Pastor. We're scheduling the final walkthrough with all teams. They are listed there. We're going to submit the final invoice for payments, okay? Because one thing that has completely changed, okay? I know a lot of times we come in here, we're like, hey, we need to check, we need to check, we need to check, we need to check. No, you can't do that anymore. Now, checks must be submitted by Wednesday. We only printing checks once a week. That is a policy as of right now. We're printing checks once a week, okay? So that's the reason why. If you do it within that month, you would be good, okay? Submit the final invoices for payment. Create a survey, because guess what we want? Guess what we want? Feedback, yes. Because just because Dana thinks it's an amazing idea, don't mean everybody else thinks it's an amazing idea, okay? Like, so we want feedback from the people, because guess who we're doing these events for, or the discipleship workshop for? Guess who we're doing it for? The people. So we want feedback from them. And I got to pick on Monica again. We was calling our meetings lesson learns, right? And one of the things she said was fruitful feedback. And I was like, that's what I'm going to start calling it now, because it's to help us grow. Because we know, even with all these planning, y'all, I've done events for a long time. Nothing goes. And ask any bride, nothing goes exactly how you want it to go, okay? But I do believe this. I believe if you do your part and you do prayer and you give it to God, it will work out exactly the way it needs to work out, okay? So, but we want to hear from the people. Yes, ma'am. You could do it through SurveyMonkey. I'm sure my Brown Baptists have different ways. You want to make, if you haven't the event, if you could go ahead and have the survey in person, I would recommend that, because if you send somebody something afterwards, they're more than likely they may not complete it. You will get some feedback, but if you could do it the day of, that would be great, because it's fresh on people's mind. I mean, you could get probably more honest feedback. Mm-hmm.
And the questions will be the same.
Okay.
And we'll just send those to you, so it'll be easy for you to do the survey.
Okay, perfect.
So just if you have, it'll just be generic event questions, so you can use that, or you can create your, like you said, you need customized.
Right.
But that'll be the Brown general, where people, anytime people come to Brown, you can just send them to survey.
Right.
They can put in, it'll just ask them, what event did you attend?
Okay.
What did you like about it?
Yes.
You know, the general stuff.
Okay.
That'll make it easy enough for a lot of ministries.
Perfect. All right. So creative service is going to do the work for you. All you have to do is send it out. And because we want feedback. Because, again, it tells us, hey, should we continue to do this event? Should we continue to do it, right? Did you have another question, Jessica? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All righty. Then finally, we're going to set up the day of or before, the day before or morning of. And then, of course, go ahead and schedule your fruitful feedback meeting with your team. That way you'll be able to review the surveys and all of that stuff. Then the day of the event, we're going to pray, we're going to set up, we're going to execute, we're going to do this survey. And then the week after, you're going to do the fruitful feedback meeting, and you're going to repeat. Yes, ma'am. No, you're good. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
All that good. Oh, okay. Sorry, y'all can't hear me online. My question is for clarity for setup. Does setup mean that the ministry leaders are now empowered with their team to set up all the decorations? Brown Baptist staff will ensure that their tables and chairs are set up, but actually putting tablecloths out, centerpieces, all of that now falls on the ministry leaders and their support team.
Absolutely. That's
all right.
Yeah. So mainly, Brown Baptist team will make sure all tables, chairs, if you request pipe and drape, those items will be there. Ms. Nita does an amazing job making sure your tablecloths, all those things that's there. And some things I need to tell you about, those tablecloths that you guys use, just want to let you know it's $7 to get them clean. So make sure you put that in your budget. That they're $7 because, of course, right now it's been going on the general expenses, but now we're going to go back to the ministry. So it's $7 per tablecloth. Pipe and drape, all of that stuff, we'll make sure that that is set up. But your ministry, your team, that's the reason why I say you need how many ministry leaders? How many volunteers? 25. Because if you have 25, you guys can meet, set up, all of those good things. Make sure everything is there. Yes? Uh-huh.
Feedback. Who do we provide the feedback to? Or do we just discuss amongst the team?
You discuss amongst yourself, and then you submit it over to me. Yes, yes. That's, Okay. Does that answer everybody's questions? All right, awesome. Okay, and then after that, you see this list of numbers? I didn't have time to put their email address on there, but you could call them and get their email addresses. But you see these numbers? Okay. Dana, you can reach me. Tracy, stand up, Tracy. Tracy, budgets. If you have any questions about the money, you can contact Tracy. That is her number, okay? David Brown is upstairs with Creative Services. Charlene with Creative Services. Miss Jackie, raise your hand with Mount Brown Baptist. And, of course, Catherine, but you can reach Catherine through Miss Jackie if you want to pull reports from Mount Brown Baptist. Bates, music and audio team. Denise, we are going down for the funeral, but she's with hospitality. Patrice, I know I saw Patrice. She's upstairs. She's with worship. And Miss Patrice, and I know she's probably going to get me for this, she does stuff in those service. You know, I know we have like our annual days, right? You know, we do those annual days, you know. know. But Ms. Retrice, I'm sure, does not mind helping with things with order of services like in the gym. She's here to guide you, to provide you with support. So I'm sure she does not mind. Ms. Retrice, do you mind? No. Thank you, Ms. Retrice. And then, of course, Ms. Anita with the VIS. She's a VIS assistant. So tablecloths, that sort of thing, she'll be the one to help pour those things. And snacks, that sort of thing. Are there any questions? So everybody's clear. Oh, I must did an amazing job. If nobody have any other questions. Okay? Ma'am? Okay, yes. I know it got the digest. I understand. I'm like that. It has to process. I'm a processor. I have to process and then. Yes, but feel free. All the numbers are there. This is a working checklist. If you guys go and be like, oh, Dana, you forgot this, just let me know. I promise you, I will add it on here. This is a working document. And even for our team leads as well, please, this is for you. This is to help you. Help us help you. Okay? All righty. Well, my time is up because I have to get down to the South Campus for the funeral. Let's see, who is next? David, you want to come on down? And then when Pastor Orr gets here, then Pastor Orr will come on in and do his part. Oh, a couple more things while David is coming down. We will be doing an evangelistic workshop on Saturday, November 5th. It's going to be at our South Campus. We're calling it Boots on the Ground. We really want to encourage our people. We got to go back. Because for those who have been coming back to church, you notice our pews are not full, right? And one of the things we'll realize is people have gotten comfortable at home. People have been told, oh, y'all just do virtual so well, we just want to sit at home, right? But we want to go to the people. We want to bring them back into church, right? We want to bring them back. So, because honestly, we see everybody's everywhere, right? Somebody posted the Mary J. Blige concert, and it was packed. Football games, packed. Everywhere, packed. Yeah, so we're going out to the community, and so we're having a team coming in. They're going to be teaching us about evangelism and discipleship, how to basically just share your story, to basically you just being a reflection of God's light unto others. And so we're asking you guys to come out November 5th, 9 a.m., chapel. We will provide light breakfast that day. And basically we'll be trained, and then we'll go out into the community to recruit, to ask people to join us to worship. And then, ask them if they're saved and those sort of things. So that's what we're doing November 5th. We'll start at the South Campus. Yes, ma'am. It's a 10 o'clock funeral. Okay. Yeah. Our member funeral, Miss Abram, is here. And then Dr. Young is at 11 o'clock, South Campus. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, David Brown. Thank you, guys.
All right, I'm processing all the information. So I said I was going to do things a little differently today. I don't want to give everybody information overload, but I'll briefly kind of overview kind of what we do. And then I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions for me as far as like what we do and how we do it and things like that. So basically, creative services, we're responsible for, like Dana said, when you get your event or your ministry, all that stuff approved, we're responsible for getting the message out and getting the information out about it. And so what we do is we're responsible for all the videos you see, video production. We run the social media channels for BMBC, so that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now TikTok. We run Pastor Orr's social media accounts. We also monitor our groups, and some of our ministries do have their own social media accounts and things like that, so we monitor and help support those things. We run brownbaptist.org. We also have our church-wide email database, so all the emails that you get from Brown Missionary Baptist Church or Pastor Bartholomew Orr, we do all of that communication, so sending those things out, as well as we run the text system. Some of you were texted this morning about the meeting and the agenda and things like that. So all those things we're kind of responsible for. We also do photography, like I said, for your event, videography, all those different type of things to basically creatively get that message out. In addition to that, we also do the merchandise. And so we run the BMBC bookstore and also take care of ordering, purchasing, merchandise and things that you may need to be branded and things like that. Two things with that. Well, let me start with the request forms. So if you go to brownbaptist.org, like we saw the event planning, once you get your event approved, then you can go and submit. A lot of times we just request a meeting because we know that you guys are not marketing experts. You guys don't know everything about marketing. That's why we're here to support. And so a lot of times we'll just reach out and set up a meeting with you where we can kind of go through different things. That's why that 6 to 9 months is so important. We can help you brainstorm about the best ways because we have so many tools. We can target text messages. We can target social media ads. We can decide if you, we can do mailers if your audience is mailing, or we can, if it's local businesses, we can figure out how to get a list of local businesses. So we're here to support you and find ways for you to get your information out about your different event. But a lot of those things, of course, take time. So that's why 6 to 9 months is so important, so we can come up with the best strategy for how we can promote your event. Sometimes it may be old school, so people still do grassroots. So it may be, let's print off some flyers and figure out a route where people are, so it's all kind of things that we can come up with creatively to help you promote and spread the gospel and spread the news about your event. For merchandise, we do run the bookstore. One thing that I guess is changing or changing now is that any merchandise that you have, people in your ministry need to pay for. So any t-shirt, cups, pens, things like that, those are not for your ministry budget. Those are things for people to actually purchase through the bookstore. And so we can help you acquire those items, and you don't have to do the legwork and find out how much it costs or things like that. But those things we set up, and those things we set up for you to purchase through the BMBC bookstore online or things like that. But we don't use ministry budgets for any kind of apparel or anything like that. So those things must be purchased with the proper Mississippi tax and all that kind of information like that. So we definitely want to do that. As far as social media and things like that, and like Dana was saying about the step and repeats, when we get with you, we'll provide you with estimates and things. We know everybody wants technology and computers and fancy LED walls and screens and all these kind of things. Obviously they cost, but a lot of times we can acquire, 6 to 9 months, we can acquire a lower cost. We may be able to borrow something. We may be able to move things around. We have a lot of different equipment already that the church owns, but a lot of times it may be out, or if multiple events are going on one time, the women's ministry may have the lights on that weekend. So that's why it's important to get your event in early. So we have lights, we have LED walls, we have different things. We just have to schedule it so that you can use them at the appropriate time. And so that's why I say it's important to get with us. So please, by all means, set up a time. We can help you. Like I said, the team is full of people who are bright, who are ready to help, who have tons and tons of ideas. And so we're ready to help. But any questions? Because I wanted to not overload. So any questions about creative services or what we do, or feedback on something you may saw or thought about or things like that? Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
What is the timeline that your ministry will see their video or advertisement on the screen prior to the event? Like, is it 2 weeks out, a week out, a month out? What's that timeline?
So great question. Glad you brought that up. Good questions. So we try to, with the schedule of the 6 to 9 months, we try to start putting, so what we do is about 2 months out, we start putting it out. So that may be softly. So what we mean by softly is it may go in the e-blast that we send out to the congregation. It may be just in a list of upcoming events or things like that. It may be in the, on social media. It may just be one post. Starting a month out, you'll start seeing it in the rotation. So we have rotation of, you see the announcement loops that goes online, and before the service, about 3 to 2 weeks out, we start putting it in the video announcements. And so 2 to 3 weeks, because we have so many ministries, 2 to 3 weeks out, we start rotating it in the video announcements. About 1 to 2 weeks out, we try to put it in Pastor Orr's observations for him to actually announce. If it's a major annual day, we try to do a video the weekend before. I know, we're going to work on that, because I know this year we had 3 annual days back to back, which is unusual for us, and so it was hard to kind of promote. We had Cancer Awareness, Pivot Weekend, and now Men's Weekend is this weekend, and so it's kind of hard for us to kind of give each, because normally with annual day, the weekend before is all about the upcoming annual day. And so that posed a little issue for us this year, but we're working to kind of rectify some of those things, so we're a little bit more spaced out. But normally if it's an annual day like men, youth, the whole weekend before is about promoting the event that's coming up that weekend. And so you should, to answer your question, about a month out, you see these things rotating and things like that. We do also try to send a text. Text is kind of our last effort to kind of get people. And sometimes we do, I think the men got a robocall last night from Pastor Orr. So different things like that. And then we try to tailor it to who it is. Sometimes, women may respond better to text. Men may respond better to robocalls. We have all this research that we do all the year round to kind of help you and guide you in what's going on. Young people may respond to a TikTok video coming out. It's just all the different things that are going on. We try to kind of push that way, but everything should be within that month that we're rotating it. And just for clarity, we do have a deadline for our video announcements, which is hopefully you all are playing, so you'll be good, but if you kind of get in a crunch or it's kind of an event that you may just know about or need to come, the deadline for the video announcements is Monday at noon. And then the things that Pastor Orr announces, like the weddings, the anniversary, the milestones, all those things are due, or any kind of special event. So a lot of you guys receive mail from Pastor Orr. He may say, I want the women to go to this women's walk or the Baptist Women's Health Fair. So all those announcements he may send or things that you may know are due Wednesday at noon, and so we can get them everything for the service. Great question. Any other questions? Questions. Going once. All right. Well, reach out. Like I said, process information and reach out. Miss Jackie, or is Pastor Orr back there? Oh.
Great. Y'all doing all right this morning? So good to see all of you all here this morning. Appreciate all that have already taken place. What else is after me? My Brown Baptist. You know what? Well, okay. All right. Couple of things, y'all. It's the last quarter. We are literally just 2 months and about 9 days left in this year. And y'all, if those have been around here a long time, know that about this time you're hearing me talk the same language over and over again. Finishing strong, finishing strong. What does that look like, finishing strong? You've already heard some of those things that we've talked about today. Everything that drives us, y'all, is message, maturity, mission, ministry, mentoring. That is our driving force throughout the entire year. The deficits that we always have, and these are the metrics whereby we can kind of gauge to see how effective we are, is discipleship. Do we have people growing? Do we have people in the pew, in the seats, online, engage? Are they maturing in their walk with the Lord? Are they a part of small groups in Sunday school and all of those teaching elements? Are they getting the devotion? Are they opening the devotionals? Discipleship. And so help us to really last quarter to get people back into their seats, to get people back to growing in their relationship with the Lord. All right? Push that, and that's another reason for that, Alive by 25. Secondly, delegation. One of the things that I was doing a video with Chick-fil-A, of all people. Was it this past week I was doing Chick-fil-A video? This past week. And here's what Stuart told me. This is Chick-fil-A. Pastor, I'm having the hardest time getting workers back into the store. Chick-fil-A is having difficulty getting workers back into the store. So you can understand, as a church, y'all, if we're having difficulties getting people into the pews, you can only imagine the difficulties actually getting people to work, to volunteer, to take an active role in the various ministries. One person cannot do it all by themselves. A team is the only way that we can do that. So delegation, how do we get more people fired up back? And with all that, we had a strategy going through pandemic that says we want to use technology. We want to continue to use the truth of the Word of God, but we also want to use that touch to really make that happen. And so that's the reason why, even like for the November 5th, it's going to be so important for each one of us to be making those calls, to be getting out there, engaging within the people, delegation. And then that last D is dollars. How do we continue to fund what God is doing here at Brown? We were looking at some numbers the other day from mybrownbaptist.org, because, I mean, it can tell us everything that we need to know, even in terms of the metrics. Only 33% have given anything for this year. So only a third, two-thirds, nothing. Only a third. Only a third. Of that third that have given, 27% have given 80%, and the other 67%, 73% has given $10 or less on average. And so help us as it relates to stewardship. When you all, I'm going to be asking y'all for these last 2 months and 9 days. You'll hear me ask a whole lot. So don't, if you ever hear folks say, well, Pastor's begging now, you tell them, yeah, he's got a reason to beg, because it's a lot that is needed, and Brown is doing a whole lot. And so, whether it's the men's this weekend, whether it's men's November is church anniversary, whether it's bricks, have we talked about bricks yet? We need to fill up the bricks, and I think we need 1,000 to fill up the bricks. We got to fill up the bricks. And so if y'all have not already done so, can y'all encourage your 25 plus, even the leaders? If we just do leaders, we'll put cowboys out there. We'll hey, pay the money, put on a brick, them boys, So a perfect opportunity for us to fill up the bricks, and we need to do that as well. I want to play a video, and then, but any question before I play the video? Any questions, comments? Finishing strong. Yes. Yeah.
Question to pass.
Where exactly is the bricks? So when you go right outside this this welcome center door, look to your left. That is the that courtyard area that the bricks will be located. They're not down there just yet because they haven't been engraved yet. But yeah, just walk right out here, look to the left. In between the buildings, there's a water fountain, and then that's where the bricks will be.
One other question, Pastor. When you're coming around the Jerusalem walkway there, on the wall, what is that amount? Those go, is there other spots for that? Because I would like to do that too.
You pay, we'll put them up. We'll expand the wall of Jerusalem. We will expand the wall of Jerusalem. I think we still got some space. Yeah, we still got some space at the wall of Jerusalem. And I don't even remember what we were given for the wall of Jerusalem. But yeah, but we will do that as well. And I think we had a whole bunch of pink down there. Ladies did pink one year. So yeah. No, it's not full. And like I said, we have some more wall space for the wall of Jerusalem. Yes. All right. Any others? Thoughts, questions, comments? Amen. All right. Roll.
Bless us indeed and enlarge our territories. Despite the pandemic woes and economic downturns, God has continued to bless Brown and now has presented us with another opportunity to enlarge our territories. Nestled at the corner of Winchester and Riverdale, the Stephen Ofer Center is already equipped with a chapel, a home, a 6-bedroom lodge, a hotel, and beautiful land that we believe could offer a great need to our community. It has a rich legacy of training pastors. As a young pastor, I sat under the teaching of Dr. Stephen Ofer at this center. And as a seasoned pastor, I received my Doctor of Ministry degree at this same site. And now Brown has a contract to purchase this property. Why purchase this? Why now? Well, first of all, continuing the expository preaching training of pastors. 2 of our 5 M's that drive all that we do here at Brown is message and mentoring. What churches need now more than ever are pastors committed to rightly dividing the word and accurately proclaiming the word. From Memphis to San Antonio to Mozambique, Africa, Dr. David Ofer and I have been partnering for years to train pastors. What a wonderful opportunity to continue and expand this aspect of expository preaching. But then secondly, discipleship training. The next M is for maturity, growing disciples. This site will serve as an excellent retreat for churches to bring their adults and youth, the teachers and students for spiritual renewal. And then thirdly, to be used as an event venue. Already featured as an ideal wedding and family reunion, this facility will be a first-class space for the many functions that members and friends of Brown already need. And finally, community engagement. Another one of our M's, Brown, is ministry. And Brown is known for giving back. Purchasing this property gives us the opportunity to address the challenges facing our community. This property provides a safe place for those in need, a space for retreats and church services, and job opportunities for people with various gifts and talents. As we celebrate 140 years of being a beacon of light in the community in November, the goal is to celebrate the completed purchase. However, we need your help to close the deal and finish strong for the year. Brown is always on the giving end, but this time we are asking you to help us as we're on the asking end. You see, I would love to see every member and friend of BMBC give $140 before October 30th so that we can accomplish this goal together, not only as a church, but as a community. As always, we have 3 buckets set up as giving opportunities, tithes and offerings to keep the lights on, missions to keep the light going, vision to keep the light growing. Your gift of any amount to any bucket would be greatly appreciated. Here are the ways that you can give. You can give via the Brown Baptist mobile app. You can text GIVE to 27636. You can give online at brownbaptist.org, or you can set up recurring giving. As always, you can call your gift in to 662-342-6407. And of course, we accept cash out at $Brown Baptist. Thank you for partnering with Brown Baptist as God enlarge our territory, and together as we see Brown continue to serve our community and to be a blessing to those in need. God bless you, and I am excited and looking forward to your partnership.
Amen. I like claps. I like claps. I like claps. And I appreciate those that are watching and those that are here. Look, we've already started rolling this out in terms of this video is going to be played all weekend long. This is a great opportunity for us. $2.5 million is the asking price. Praised for about $2.9 million and 17 acres, great facility, very familiar with this, and it's just a perfect opportunity. But again, to finish strong, to close the deal, we need individuals to come alongside. Now, y'all heard on the screen $140. I'm not asking y'all for $140. Y'all are my leaders, and as the leaders, I'm asking you all to go even above and beyond. And I'm thankful, amen. I'm thankful already for leaders that have already committed. There are some that have already been saying, Pastor, you know what? Matter of fact, Dana and I got a text message last night. You can come pick up our $5,000 check toward the purchase of this property. And so, one, I'm thankful for just buy-in. Two, I'm thankful that God done blessed some of y'all with some means to be able to do that. And so you all may be among this group, and you may be able to do a lot more than $140. Don't limit yourself to just $140. But if you can give $1,000 or so to this project, it helps us to do two things: finish the deal, as well as close the year and finish strong for the year. And so we're excited about it, excited about the opportunities. I want to answer any question that you all may have on that. And yes.
What do we put on the envelope?
Vision 2025. If you put Vision 2025, we'll know the gifts coming in this week is toward Vision 2025. Vision 2025, yes. The property is located right at the corner of Winchester and Riverdale, right across from Anointed Temple of Praise. You really can't see it from the road, right? You really can't see it from the road because it's a gate, just a kind of wood, a brick sign is all that is there on the road. You have to go behind a gated area just to get up in there, but that's where it is, 17 acres back there, and a lot of buildings on there. Yes.
So with this property, our ministry team would be able to have
Events.
conferences and there also?
That's correct.
Hotels.
The four things that I mentioned, y'all, yes. We'll use this property, one, for expository preaching. Already, Oford Ministries offer about 4 to 6 institutes a year. Many times they bring those pastors to Brown. I don't know if y'all have seen those international pastors that come to our church services. And so you got that going on. You got the discipleship training that would be going on as churches come together for, just past the other weekend, they had a prayer retreat happening there. Some ladies, I've forgotten where the ladies came from, but those ladies had come for the prayer retreat. And with the hotel, they can stay right there on the property. All of the events and everything is right there. It's got a full commercial kitchen, so the meals and everything are prepared there. Dining areas as well. So it's all inclusive in terms of discipleship training, church retreats, and things of that nature. By all means, yes, Brown Ministries now have another spot that we can go and make things happen. A third thing would be event venue. And so from weddings, and y'all know, not only do I do a whole bunch of funerals, I do a whole bunch of weddings. And oftentimes I'm not only doing weddings here at the church, but I'm doing weddings outside at other events. And so now we have an opportunity not only for our members, but for the community at large. Now, you can't have your wedding there free. So please make sure, well, I gave my $140. I want my wedding free. No, it's not a free event venue, but hey, we're excited about the opportunities for all of the community venues that can happen there, and then just in terms of community engagement in large. And so we're excited about that as well.
What is the cost?
$2.5 million is the selling price, is the contract price, $2.5 million. And the goal is for it to be seller finance with us paying half down and they financing the rest.
When can I submit a resume?
When can you submit a resume? Axe Career Center constantly is taking resumes. So you can always submit a resume to our Axe Career Center. And then for Brown, Brown resumes are usually, isn't it on our website?
It's on our website.
It's on our website. Y'all, and do understand this now, it's already a fully functioning operation out there. So as a result, we don't have to necessarily go and reinvent the wheel. And as it relates to expenses and so forth, our goal would be how do we minimize all of that as well. So, but yeah. Mother Demnita.
Good morning. I just want to clarify, I've been there, and it is really nice, you all. It's a nice venue, and it's a well-kept secret. You don't know it's there unless when you pass up and down Riverdale and Winchester, that's where I live. But it is a nice venue, you all.
Very, very, very nice facility, and we're looking forward to putting the Brown Baptist touch on it. What did she want to ask? You asked her for it.
She got her 140. She got a check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and y'all add some more zeros to y'all 140. All right, so y'all add an extra zero. Amen. I just got a text message. Thank you so very much. I had a dream last night that we purchased a new property. So see there, God is already putting it in y'all's spirit. And again, part of Vision 2025, y'all, is how do we prepare for the next season of Brown? And so acquiring property is going to be one of those ways, even as we raise up new entrepreneurs and so forth. We're thinking holistic. How do we really be impactful in the days to come? So cemetery is also on the list, and we're excited about even that as well. So we got a lot of great things that are coming down the pipe, and excited about what God is doing. Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, I'm not a ministry leader. I thought we could come here and sign up. So is the person that's over the outreach department, are they here? We tried to sign up online. We hadn't heard anything back.
All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that question. And where's my outreach person? Okay. All right. So make sure you connect with Jackie beforehand. And hey, you're in the right meeting. You're in the right meeting because folks know at Brown, we'll make you the leader.
I have a question about the bricks. Should they be given up on the Vision 2025 as well, the bricks?
Yes. Yes. The bricks can be given under Vision 2025, and yeah. Those three buckets, y'all, there are three buckets, but they all go to the same place. So
I was going to say, make sure you submit a form. There are paper forms or it's online forms, so we make sure we have your name, whatever you want to put on the brick in addition to the money.
Right.
And so there's a form that's available. Denise has them at all the welcome centers. If you fill out that form,
you need to fill out the form for the brick so we'll know exactly what you're putting on the brick. You can also text brick to 27636 and it'll come. So I would love for us to do all three of that. Give a special gift for church anniversary for the purchase of this. give that special gift for the bricks, and as well as help our men this weekend finish strong with Men's Day as well. So do all three. Amen. Any other thoughts or questions? All righty. Yes, Penny.
Wanted to get the name of the facility again. And
Right now
do you
it's
have a projected purchase date, closing date?
October 31st.
October 31st.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. What's the name once it's acquired? As y'all know, I'm a legacy guy, and so I love the fact that of Stephen Olford Center and what it has meant, because again, I was trained at the Stephen Olford Center. But Brown will be a part of that name as well. We haven't figured out all of that naming. What I shared with somebody, y'all give us $1 million, we'll put your name on it. And so, Anthony Richardson Center of Excellence at the Stephen Olford Center. And so naming rights are open as well. All right? Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All righty. Yes. Yeah, we haven't figured all that out. It'll be ours, and I just haven't figured out how we're going to name it. Yeah, we just haven't figured that out. In terms of sponsorships as well for Christmas production, we still need sponsorships for that as well. So if y'all know of a business that would love to sponsor, this year we're going back out in terms of the Soulful Christmas production, and we're doing a couple of live shows there, and would love for you. That's another way that we can finish strong. So if you got a business, if you know someone with a business, if you would just like to be a personal sponsor of the Christmas production, another win-win to help us finish the year strong. I've challenged our sponsorship team to actually get $200,000 for the Christmas sponsorship. That would ensure that the whole Christmas production is covered, as well as being able to seed money into Mid-South Genesis Foundation. So a great opportunity for that as well. All right. How many letters on the brick is considered I think it was 17 characters. 17 characters. One line, 17 characters. All right. 2 lines, 1 line, 17 characters, $300. 2 lines, $500. All right. And yes, and again, the hotel that is out there on that property is a 42 room hotel that is already on the property as well. Yeah.
Ebony Suggs online asks, will services be held there?
You know what? We have a chapel there, and so it's one of those possibilities of using it for some church plants and so forth. We have not ourselves thought about doing an actual service out there for Brown just yet. I'm trying to get y'all back here and to fill up main campus and fill up South campus. So I might ask y'all to drive a little bit until, all right? All right. All minds clear? All minds clear? Yes. And the chapel seating out there, it does seat about 175 to 200 in the chapel out there as well. All right. Well, I'm excited about this, y'all. Look, my goal is for these next few days for us to give $1 million toward the purchase of this property. And so I'm excited about you all joining with us in making that happen and encouraging others as well. Amen? And so for church anniversary, go ahead and give that $140 early that you were going to give for church anniversary. Go and give it early. And for y'all as my leaders, since y'all are my favorite, add a 0 or 2 behind it. Come on, Jackie. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Orr. I think we all kind of fired up and excited after that.
All right, my Brown Baptist. I know we've had y'all here for a long time, and everybody's about ready to go, and some of you have to go due to the funeral. Quick question, what is my Brown Baptist? What in the world is my Brown Baptist? Y'all keep talking about it. What is my Brown Baptist? My Brown Baptist? So My Brown Baptist, y'all, is our new membership database. That is where we keep all of your information, just the basic things about you, all of your giving. And so the department, our department, membership support, members and ministry support, we handle making sure that your information is up to date. All the finances that Pastor Orr wanting you to give, the $140 for the brick and all of that, our department is responsible for getting those envelopes from the deacons and making sure that you receive credit for everything that you give. We're responsible for sending out tithes. We do all of that. Catherine here is our tech guru. She does everything My Brown Baptist. If you have a problem with your giving, you move your address, she's the one that can help you get that set up, get that changed, all of that. So we do quite a bit of stuff. And then, just to kind of get everybody familiar, My Brown Baptist, you might hear us say My BB. That's our short way that we've kind of come up with saying My Brown Baptist is My BB. How do you get to My Brown Baptist to look at your information? my.brownbaptist.org, or it is on the church's website. This is important, y'all, because we are moving a lot of our communications and information to My Brown Baptist. So it's real important that everybody get signed up for My Brown Baptist. If you don't already have an account, we really, really, really need you to get one. All right, so what can I do in My Brown Baptist? Communications, and I'm going to go over with you as leaders how you can send out emails to everybody in your ministry. So we can do communications. We also have the capability for you being able to send out text messages through My Brown Baptist. We have not got that set up yet, but that is something that we are working on. But the email capability is fully operational right now. The next thing, registrations. So as Dana was telling you, when you have an event, if you want to have a registration form so that people can sign up for your event, and the purpose of that is it will help you better budget, better plan, since that is going to be critical for next year and going forward, being able to plan and budget your funds for your ministry, and registrations will help you do that. The next thing, forms. I know we've kind of gotten used to Google Forms. We've got some people that they are expert on Google Forms, but actually we want to bring everything in-house. My Brown Baptist, like Dana says, it lets us do pretty much anything we want to do. And Catherine here can handle setting up all of your registrations, any kind of forms that you want to do. She would be the person to see. And then the last thing is documents. This is one that we're real excited about because you as ministry leaders, if there is some information you want to post for everybody in the ministry to have, you are able to upload documents and people can log into their My Brown Baptist account and they will be able to access any kind of documents, maybe like a flyer for an event that you want everybody to share. You can post that, you can send that out to the group in an email, or you can post it, and everybody in your ministry will have access to that so that they can share it. So just want to look real quick, because we did kind of go over the first of the year. We did some trainings with ministries on just being able to email your group. So you as ministry leaders, when you log into My Brown Baptist, on the right-hand side, you should see your group. And from that link, you will be able to go in, and we've got the women's ministry just as kind of an example. I think part of it is kind of off the screen. But you'll have there your roster and then attendance. When you click on roster, it will show you every single person that is within your ministry. And then attendance, you can use attendance for if you want to take attendance for a meeting or something of that nature. Also, like I was saying here, it's kind of a little hard to see. Go back one for me. So this is just a site just showing you if you had some documentation you wanted just for the leaders in your group to have, or if you've got documents that you want everybody in the ministry to have access to. This is just a screen here showing you how you can upload and post that information. And so then next, just kind of wanted to highlight there the two biggest things. So you can see right there, you can be able to add a member. It's kind of cut off on that side, but the other one is just with the click of a button, it tells you you can click there and email roster. And that would be everybody that's within your ministry. And y'all, that is a great way to be able to share information. Because you know, if you're just using, now, I know a lot of all of our ministries, you know, we have an email account. And like I said, if you don't have a Brown Baptist email account, let me know. But this, you know, with the email account, you would have to go in and put in every single person's email address. You don't have to do that if you use My Brown Baptist. You can just, with the click of that button, email everybody in your entire ministry. All right, and then just that next slide, it just kind of shows you is the typical email. You can do some, you know, some formatting just like you would in Gmail with everything. You can attach a document that is there. You will see some people, when you go to email roster, their name will be red. That then would indicate that either that person has chosen not to receive communications. Like, you know, some people, they just decide, you know, they might not want to be getting a bunch of emails. So if it's red, the email is not going to go to that person. It's that, and then sometimes it's just simply that we don't have an email on file for a person. And so that's why it's real important that everybody gets a My Brown Baptist email account so that you can keep your address up to date. Make sure we have your email address so that we can email everybody. So that's something maybe you as a leader might want to focus on for this coming year. You know, it's just to go through your roster and see those people that don't have an email account listed, and you can contact them and, you know, maybe try to get them to put in an email address so that they can get communications from your ministry. And then, y'all, the next thing that just come up this morning, the typical case that we try to avoid happening, join a ministry. So some of you, the way it's set up, ministry leaders, or sometimes, for instance, like Miss Denise Green, she's over ushers, greeters, parking lot. She has all of those ministries that she's over. So as such, when somebody fills out a join a ministry form, she gets instant notification that, hey, somebody wants to join the usher ministry. For me, I get the adult connection. Somebody wants to join the women's ministry. Somebody wants to join the men's ministry, sister to sister. I then take that information and I send it to that ministry leader for them to make contact. And y'all, honestly, Pastor Orr has a goal that we make contact with people within 24 hours. We want to, because we don't want a situation like, you know, what happened this morning where somebody says that I did the join a ministry, but nobody contacted me. You know, we want to make sure we avoid that situation because we want people to join our ministry. We need workers. Y'all know we need volunteers. Look at all what Pastor Orr, you know, has got planned with this new facility. So we're going to need volunteers. So let's make sure that we try our best to do that. And then another thing that has come up is when members join, and Dana did talk about this morning when she presented, how do we keep them engaged? We can't just be a one and done. We've got to figure out how to keep them engaged. You know, make sure we're emailing, texting, whatever we need to do to let them know of volunteer opportunities. That, hey, you know, just calling, you know, you saw we got a meeting coming up, just wanted to, you know, touch bases to see, maybe make sure you want to come out, you know, so you can get to know some people. So let's do our best to try to not only make sure we're reaching out, but that we try to keep people engaged. And then other ministry support that comes from this department, speaker requests. One thing I did want to make sure to mention about speaker requests, y'all, try to have, like for our major annual days, you need to have at least 3 people in mind, simply because a lot of times it can be so hard to contact people. And then what we found is that over the years, a lot of ministers don't necessarily want to leave their church on a Sunday. So when you do, if you're over an annual day, make sure that you kind of have 3 speakers in mind, like for Women's Month, Men's Month, those kind of things. And also, y'all, about the speakers, the pivot group is a perfect example. You don't have to just go out and try to, you know, want to get the big speakers. They found a local Christian comedian for the event that they recently did. Very inexpensive, and the feedback has just been awesome. Everybody I've spoke to, they want to make sure we get that person back. So I've tried to share that with them. So, and like Pastor Orr said, I think Dana said, we've got some amazing talent within the church. Let's think about sometimes, you know, just using our own people too, because a lot of times we don't hear from them. I know one of the things, I have my little small home church back in Sardis, Mississippi. One time I got Pastor Green to come and speak there. Y'all did an amazing job. So not only, you know, we know Pastor Green kind of does a lot of our counseling, marriage counseling and all that, but y'all, I'm telling you, he is a phenomenal speaker. If you ever have the chance to maybe, if you need a speaker, he is definitely a great person. Another thing that we do, like Dana had already touched on, print requests, snack requests. Miss Tanita kind of makes sure that, you know, each ministry have their snacks in their area when you need those. And then just the overall facilitating events and activities. Say, for instance, me and you may talk, and you was like, well, you know, do you know if David has this yet, or blah, 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 blah. So if you tell me, I'm going to go to David and say, hey, David, you got this, or Dana, do you have this already? And then I'll get back to you on that. So just kind of making sure that we're facilitating and supporting you in everything that you're doing. And then next, what we need from you, if you don't already have the church app, and the church app is different from My Brown Baptist. I know a lot of times people get those confused. My Brown Baptist is not an app. However, there is a way, because it's an online site, you can save it to your phone just like it's an app, but it's actually not an app. But we do need you to download the church app, the Brown Baptist Church app. It's on the Google Play Store and it's in the Apple Store. Because starting next week, we're going to be creating a leaders group, because this will allow us to